The rain began as a whisper and grew into a roar, drumming fiercely against the leaves and the rusted zinc roofs of the village by the river. Night swallowed the land whole, broken only by flashes of lightning that briefly revealed the swollen waters of the Omiola River, raging far beyond its banks. A woman stood at the river's edge. Her wrapper was soaked, clinging to her legs. Her breathing was uneven, sharp with panic and fury. In her trembling arms lay a tiny newborn, wrapped in a faded cloth. The child did not cry, only breathed softly, unaware of the storm, unaware of the hatred that surrounded her fragile life. The woman's eyes darted around, watching for witnesses. The forest behind her was silent. The village slept. "Wicked child," she hissed through clenched teeth. "You will not steal what belongs to my son." Lightning split the sky again, and for a brief moment, the woman's face was revealed, hard, bitter, carved by jealousy and fear. This was not a stranger. This was a stepmother. A woman who had sworn to protect her husband's household but now stood ready to destroy it. The river surged forward as if alive, hungry. The baby stirred, her tiny fingers curling around nothing. For a heartbeat, doubt flickered across the woman's face. Then the memory returned, whispers from elders, warnings from a shrine priest, dreams of crowns and bloodlines. Fear tightened her resolve. "No destiny will rise above my own child," she whispered. With a violent motion, she hurled the newborn into the darkness. The river swallowed the child without a sound. The woman staggered back, her chest heaving. The rain washed away her footprints, erased her crime. Somewhere far downstream, the current carried more than a baby, it carried a secret powerful enough to shake kingdoms. And as the storm raged on, unseen eyes watched from the shadows. Destiny had not ended. It had only begun. Long before that terrible night, the village of Ajanico was known for two things: its fertile land and its ancient bloodlines. Families here traced their ancestry not just through names, but through stories of warriors, priestesses, and kings who once ruled lands far beyond the river. At the heart of the village lived Chief Adeyemi, a respected palm wine merchant whose wealth came slowly, honestly, from years of trade and trust. He was a quiet man, generous to fault, loved by many. His first wife, Marank, had been gentle and wise. For years, the village celebrated her kindness, how she fed strangers, how she prayed for barren women, how she never raised her voice. When she finally became pregnant after many seasons of waiting, the village rejoiced. But Marank died giving birth. She left behind a daughter, Abeni, and a house filled with grief. Chief Adeyemi mourned deeply. For years, he refused to remarry. But loneliness is a patient enemy, and pressure from elders eventually wore him down. He married again, this time to Arlot Kemi, a beautiful woman from a neighboring town. At first, Kemi was admired. She spoke sweetly, dressed elegantly, and seemed eager to care for little Abeni. But kindness can be a mask, and time has a way of pulling it off. When Kemi gave birth to her own son, Kola, everything changed. The household divided quietly. Food portions shifted. Praise followed Kola, while Abeni faded into the background. As Abeni grew, she became the family servant, fetching water, washing clothes, tending fires. Still, Abeni endured. She grew into a calm, resilient young woman, her mother's gentleness shining through her eyes. The village noticed. Elders whispered that Marank's spirit lived on in her daughter. When Abeni married Oletunji, a humble hunter, Joe returned to the compound. Despite poverty, their home was filled with laughter and peace. Then Abeni became pregnant. That was when the dreams began. Ayalot Kemi started waking in the night, soaked in sweat, haunted by visions of a child surrounded by light, seated on a throne, while her own son knelt in shadows. Desperate, she consulted a shrine priest in secret. The priest spoke carefully. "The child your stepdaughter carries," he warned, "is marked by destiny. She will rise higher than many. Her lineage carries ancient power. Fear poisoned Kemi's heart. What if this child threatened Kola's future? What if inheritance, honor, and legacy slipped from her grasp? When Abeni died during childbirth, just like her mother, Kemi felt both relief and terror. Relief that Abeni was gone. Terror because the child remained. The newborn girl was named Dora, though few spoke her name with warmth. From the moment she arrived, Kemi treated her as an enemy. Chief Adeyemi, broken by grief, withdrew into silence. He trusted his wife to handle the household, unaware that cruelty now ruled his home. Kemi spread lies. She told neighbors the baby was weak, cursed, unwanted by the spirits. She isolated the child, refusing ceremonies, denying blessings. Even Kola was warned never to grow close to his half-sister. But destiny does not bow to cruelty. One night, as Kemi plotted quietly, the river spirit Yemoja stirred. Fishermen downstream later spoke of hearing a baby's cry carried on the wind, followed by a strange calm in the waters. The child had not died. Far away, an old woman named Mama Ola, a widowed herbalist, found a basket tangled among reeds. Inside lay Dora, alive, glowing faintly in the moonlight. Mama Ola took her in. Years passed. Dora grew up poor but deeply loved. She learned herbs, healing, and humility. She spoke gently, helped freely, and never knew the truth of her origin. Back in Ajaneku, Kemi's life began to unravel. Kola grew arrogant, cruel, and lazy. Despite privilege, nothing prospered in his hands. Crops failed. Trades collapsed. People whispered. Meanwhile, stories spread of a young healer by the river whose touch brought relief, whose presence calmed storms of the heart. Fate tightened its circle. The truth emerged during a great drought. Villages gathered at the river to pray. Dora, now a young woman, was invited to assist with healing rituals. When she stepped into the water, the river stilled. Elders gasped. Chief Adeyemi, old and frail, felt something awaken in his spirit. He recognized Marant's eyes staring back at him through Dora's face. The basket, the birthmark, the timing. Kemi collapsed when confronted. The river roared. The truth spilled out, her fear, her jealousy, her crime. Dora was not just a child. She was heir to ancient blood, protected by spirits, chosen by destiny. Kemi was banished in shame. Kola, stripped of arrogance, left to learn humility through hardship. Dora was restored to her lineage but chose compassion over vengeance. She cared for the village, honored Mama Ola and ruled not with power, but with kindness. And so the elders taught. The river returns what is thrown into it, but not always in the way you expect. Evil may act in secret, but destiny walks in the open. Kindness planted in pain will rise stronger than cruelty rooted in fear. The village remembered. The river flowed on. And destiny fulfilled its promise.